Wait, what is the black girlfriend effect? This
you not know
You
about
just
this?
glow up the other culture.
Yeah, so you'll see a guy who's had a black girlfriend. All of a sudden, he's got buzz cut, like clean shape up.
Glows up, bro.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that.
They shave their hair because they start losing it. Because they're so stressed being around this black girl complaining about it all the fucking time. That's why they gotta shave their hair.
Nah, bro. White guys with black girlfriends,
They grow a beard
they step their
because
dick
there's
up.
more cushion when they get slapped the out of
That's hilarious.
The thing about what Andrew said, though, that I disagree with was that I was speaking on what he did to gain clout.
Yeah.
No one
Sounds about
in
right.
the world defends black women to gain clout. Most of the time, the people defending black women are black women. What people do most times is what Andrew did. What people do most times is what the two young podcasters did. They laugh and they make jokes and they disrespect. And I get for Andrew, he said it was said in jest, and that's fine. That's why what I said, he made it a 10-minute soliloquy when he talked to Charlamagne. It was 5 minutes. 20 seconds was about Andrew Schulz. The beginning to set up what I was going to say was, here's what Andrew Schulz says. Now let me give you my experience. See, my issue is he has an issue with me talking about what he said when it's cool to make jokes. It's cool to make them the butt of those jokes, but it's not cool for me to share my good experiences with black women. It's not cool for me to give you the historic view of what black women have done.
He said only black women protect black women. You doing it right now, brother.
Y'all know who he sounds just like, bro?
Who?
Spencer James, bro. He sounds like Spencer James, but this is a Spencer James answer.
No, I'm not gonna lie. The
It
fact that he gonna say that no one defends black women for clout, buddy.
Roland Martin,
this whole speech is for clout.
A lot of black men do that.
It's a joke, bro. Like,
It was a joke, bro.
Not all black men.
just laugh.
It's
If you
just,
did-
he was just
I mean,
kidding.
even if you thought it wasn't funny, because I didn't think it was funny. I thought the first joke was funny, but not the beard joke. It was like, all right, whatever. But what was the first joke? Oh, yeah, you balding because all the stress and they be yelling. That's a lot. The black women do put your ass through stress. I'm a victim of it.
It's just a joke.
My daddy a victim of it.
That's crazy.
This a generational thing,
Bro,
brother.
it's funny.
What are you talking about?
And
Hey, bro.
obviously, they're not saying, or we're not saying all black women are like that.
For
you
sure.
know?
Bro, it's
We
just
know.
a joke,
It's just-
though.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's a joke. Like, it's supposed to be
a
funny.
comedian telling the joke.
Yeah, if you don't
Well,
like
she
the joke,
slapped
just
your
say,
ass.
all you gotta say is, well, I didn't like the joke. Okay.
Simple as that.
You gotta get on your soapbox.
Oh,
Well,
black
you can't
people-
really get
Positive
mad.
experiences
Like,
with black women.
You know, people might get mad at me, but when you got shows like, TV networks like Zeus, you can't,
Hey, that's true. Black women beating up on black women on TV. And black little girls are watching it, buddy. It's a lot of problems. Ryan Clark. Hey, bro, I don't like this dude, bro, because he act like he a philosopher ass nigga.
Yeah.
And he not like, bro, Ryan.
I used to like him,
Like,
though, bro.
I still respect Ryan to a degree.
Him too. And I
but
like the pivot. I like
just
that
think-
show. It's entertaining.
I just think when he
At
gets on his
times.
soapbox, it's just very irritating. Like, bro,
Bro,
just
he don't have
let,
to-
like,
yeah.
Who are you,
like, just
bro?
chill, bro. Like,
We don't need social justice warriors for
that's
real.
what I'm saying. Like, you're not achieving nothing by doing this.
He didn't understand.
He
But he
used
just,
big words.
come on, bro. Like, come on, bro. Be for real, bro.
You can tell
You
he's
know,
smart.
if you watch his football highlights and hear him acting like this, it's
Yeah.
like, there's no way this is the same
No,
person.
yeah.
He was
Yeah,
a damn
No.
Have you
He
seen his
was.
tape?
Nah, I
Have you
seen
seen his
some of it. I seen
tape?
some of it.
booming shit,
He was
for
a
real.
hospital cinder.
I don't know. It's just like, I feel like for a lot of the way, I bet a lot, if you looked at his core values, actually, they would probably lean conservative.
I don't know,
They probably
bro.
would, but he's from Louisiana too, bro.
I mean, well, he probably doesn't
telling
like a lot of the, but you know why he would be
probably-
liberal?
but he's
'Cause
also
he's a
on
black
ESPN.
woman protector.
Man.
Yeah, well, because even
Oh, she couldn't
70%
do it.
I mean, like,
of
it's
black
cool
women-
that it's cool that you
But
like
that's
black
my
women
point, though.
and
That
stuff.
goes back to the point where a lot of black people will have values that are conservative, but then
They just
when
dumb.
you bring that race card in there,
That's dumb brain.
no, it's just a
Yeah,
shit
well, that's just-
mindset.
Yeah, whatever, man.
They're just following,
I
what
don't
all
know.
other black people are doing.
He's just not a cool guy to me, honestly. I got no respect. Hey, I like
You don't got
Marshawn
no
Lynch.
respect. You don't got no
I like-
respect for Ryan Clark.
Hell no.
I like Ryan
respect
Clark.
for him, man.
I respect
I'd
him.
rather watch
Ryan Clark
I'd rather
still.
watch Marshawn Lynch.
I just think when he gives these
We
takes,
just don't like this part of
like
it.
when he gives these takes and stuff, I don't like it.
Yeah, me
I've
too,
said that
bro.
multiple times on this channel, but I respect him.
I do too.
All
Bro.
right, let's
He's
keep going.
definitely someone you could look up to, and he ain't no
Yes.
criminal.
When it's cool to make jokes, it's cool to make them the butt of those jokes, but it's not cool for me to share my good experiences with black women. It's not cool for me to give you the historic view of what black women have done in support of black men. To me, make that make sense. Why is it corny for me to now respond to this in defense of black women when I'm getting sent your clip with people asking me, what do you think about this? When I'm walking around my house every day looking at black women who would give their lives for me. When I was raised by one that would give their life for me. That's not corny. Come on, bro. That's not clout chasing. I'm not looking for friends.
Bro, they make jokes about white people not putting season on food all the time.
Bro, they make all types of jokes.
It's all types of
Everybody
jokes.
makes jokes on everybody.
So
bro.
when you see on the internet a lot of black women beating up on black men, it's a joke. I mean, you see it all the time.
I want you guys to go look at any fight page and tell me who's fighting on there. Just type in fights on X and look at the fight page, and I want you to count on your hand how many times you see fights.
Bro. That's facts.
From a certain race and demographic.
Everybody knows, bro.
It's a movie about this.
We gotta sit here and keep it 100. Like, it's just a joke.
They have movies like Baby Boy that black people glorify. I glorified it. Say, nigga, you ain't seen Baby Boy. You ain't black. Come on, bro. And that was literally a mama getting her ass beat on the show. And he, Baby Boy, getting his ass beat by his girl. Come on, bro.
Yeah, bro. And I also think it's just like not good to always do this, bro. To call every little joke and every little thing racist, because when the actual racist thing does happen, you know, it's gonna be hard to decipher the difference almost, because we crying wolf every day.
Tyrese was getting beat up on now. Not bad, but she was punching his ass on there.
Little taps.
Nigga. It was happening.
What the fuck?
It was happening. It's a bunch of the black movies I can name. Daddy's Little Girl. I can go on and on.
For people to push me up on a pedestal. And clearly, if you still are responding about what I said, I don't need no clout either, right? Because I'm in a space where y'all can already hear me. And so to me, I don't think that it was what he made it out to be. And the larger problem I had was he claimed and I talked to Shannon on the phone, and I put it on a comment. He claimed that I said he would say the N-word, and that's not true. He told me I should have been speaking about those brothers, and I was, because I said it's brothers like that allow people to be comfortable enough to make excuses as to why they disrespect black people and black women. And by the time I got to the end of it, because I went back and rewatched it, I wanted it to be very clear that these are my experiences and the experience of others, even though yours may be different.
About the black girl effect.
Yeah.
So tell me how did that conversation come about?
Yeah.
And then tell me what you were thinking when you said what you said.
So what was the black girlfriend effect is essentially like when a white guy dates a black girl, he starts to glow up. He starts to look better, and he gets like a beard and a shape up, and he's just like fine. And I've heard of the black girlfriend effect, obviously.
It's a trend.
So what was he saying it, referencing it? It was like Travis Kelce or something like that.
Yeah, I think because he was saying they glow up, they start to look different, they get beards and things like that. And I think you said but they go bald because
that's what I was like. So for me, I'm like, this is a comedy podcast. I'm like making a joke. First of all, I hate explaining jokes. I can't believe I'm even doing this. It's like so stupid. But so I'm like, what is the opposite take?
Right.
A lot of times in comedy, the opposite take is the funny thing.
Look at the other side.
So you go the other side and you try to defend the indefensible or whatever it is. This is what I've done my entire career. So the opposite take is, no, actually the reason why they're shaping up their hair because they're going bald, because they're stressed out, they're going to beards, so there's more padding in case they get slapped.
Right.
It's just the opposite take of the black girlfriend effect being, you look so much better.
Right.
It's really not that sophisticated. But they went on another podcast and said they didn't think that girls in Atlanta were pretty. So black women in Atlanta were very offended by these two English dudes, black dudes, that were basically calling girls in Atlanta ugly. This is like the hub of black culture in America. And you're just going to call the black women ugly. So they were ripping them. And then they started ripping them for laughing at my joke. So it wasn't really about what I said. It was, look how corny these guys are. And they are corny. Look how corny these guys are. Here's another example of their corniness. Right? And then Ryan Clark took a break from posting pictures of his outfits on Instagram to do a whole soliloquy.
Man, why you on RC, man? You need to have a conversation. Ryan's a good dude, man.
No, I know. Everybody tells me he's a good dude, but he did that,
corny, though. I
and he
don't like
it just felt like it was all clout, and he tried to make it this big thing. And he's like, by the end of it, he's like, he's one of these guys that like wants to say the N-word but doesn't. And I was like, what the is going on? Like, what are we even talking about?
Right.
The stories about those guys who insulted the black women,
Right.
and laughing at that joke. And then he kind of reframed it and then made it about me.
Yeah, I don't care what happened, bro. Regardless, I never liked that nigga Ryan, bro. I'm gonna keep it on it. He just a square nigga to me. Like he just just a lame man.
Damn.
Oh God, like he just lame.
Every
bro.
time we see a clip of him, he is doing some
like
square
just some
stuff.
lame crap. Like,
Nah,
bro,
but if you see him before like
I think he's cool. I think he just race
when he
baits a
doesn't
lot.
get political, you know.
He gets on his soapbox and race baits a lot.
Like
He
when you
does
talk
do
about
that.
He
sports,
does
I
that
guess,
a
bro.
lot.
But when you're not talking about sports, he's just lame, bro.
Yeah,
Like Brandon might have been the coolest nigga on the podcast.
He wasn't on this one.
Brandon
He's
Marshall.
not
They
on this.
left
He's
his
on
and
I Am
they-
Athlete.
Well, yeah,
made this one.
I Am Athlete was better to me.
I don't know. He used to talk over everybody.
Shit,
Remember he got
shoulda.
super bad about the contracts. He was yelling.
Yeah, them niggas ain't gonna do nothing to him either.
I met Brandon Marshall. He's pretty chill. He's tall as hell. He could have played basketball.
And Clark took a break from posting pictures of his outfits on Instagram to do a whole soliloquy.
Man, why you on RC, man? You need to have a conversation. Ryan's a good dude, man.
No, I know. Everybody tells me he's a good dude, but he did that, and he it just felt like it was all clout, and he tried to make it this big thing. And he's like, by the end of it, he's like, he's one of these guys that like wants to say the N-word but doesn't. And I was like, what the is going on? Like, what are we even talking about?
Right.
The stories about those guys who insulted the black women,
Right.
and laughing at that joke. And then he kind of reframed it and then made it about me.
Like, I'll tell you what my you want to know what my initial reaction is, which I think is kind of unfair, but my initial reaction was when I saw you guys talking about it, and I was like, okay, he wants to protect black women, and this is very important. And then I looked on every one of the episodes that you had to see if there was any guys on here that beat up black women. And there were. And I looked to see if you guys addressed it on the pod. And you didn't. Okay. Now, I also saw you guys had the episode with DeAndre's mom talking about domestic violence. So I was like, okay, this is good and this is powerful, this is important. But my knee-jerk reaction was, man, I get a whole section that's not even part of an episode. And these guys who we know have actually for a joke, and these guys who have actually hurt black women and convicted, not allegations, because I don't go off of allegations, I go off of conviction. Everybody can get an allegation, it means nothing. And then these guys, they don't get anything. So in that moment, I was like, this feels like a clout play. It doesn't feel like the highest priority is protecting these women. So that was my initial reaction.
So I'm gonna say this. We have had people on this show that have been convicted for domestic violence that have pulled it out of the show.
That have pulled it out of
that I have asked about it.
Oh, and then they're like, I don't want it on the show.
Yeah, and I do, because people come on our show voluntarily.
Of course.
I do ask those questions in respectful ways. Right? I'm not, hey man, you're a woman beater, but I will say, in one of the instances that was pulled, I said, look, you were convicted of something that no man wants attached to his name.
Amen.
And they answered it. We talked to their people. I was like, man, the answer was good. And they pulled it out of the show. So we've had that. We've had that happen.
Got your ass.
We also had an instance with one of our guests who was talking about sexual assault, and he talked about it in a way that almost said that, okay, how do we blame the women? And I addressed that as well.
Yeah.
So as far as for me, I try to address it in every opportunity that I get a chance to with them. I try to ask them questions. Tell their side of the story. When they sit with us, I do not bash them over the head with it, condemn them, or judge them in the moment.
Yeah.
I do try to have a conversation about it.
We're all hypocrites. Nobody's perfect. Do you know what I mean? I've had people on the pod, I've had a president on the podcast. Nobody's killed more people than a president. You know what I mean? Anybody who sat down, if you sat down with Obama, hundreds of thousands of people are dead because of decisions that he thought were in the best interests of America, right? Same thing if you sat down with Clinton, you sat down with anybody, right? I did a buddy of mine's podcast, and he brought up the fact that I had Alex Jones on my podcast. He did one of the most heinous things in history, where he said that those kids were faking it at that school shooting. Remember that? That's a heinous, Sandy Hook. I mean, disgusting, heinous. I had a buddy of mine, I went on his podcast, and he was like, yeah, I can't believe you did that. That was so f***ed up, what he did to those kids. And I was like, you visited the Pope. You know what I mean? Like they were protecting people f***ing kids. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you had the opportunity to go meet them and you're like, I'll do that. And like they were literally protecting priests that were having sex with children. Like I can't think of any, like, so
that's crazy.
We can always find the moral equivalency or the moral high ground, which was a thing that I did with you guys, but I hesitated to like go out and talk about that publicly. This is why I did, is because the point of that is not to protect those women or to protect the children. The point of that is to make you feel bad or me feel good. And now we're using victims as a tool. I don't want to do that.
He just could.
He said, so I went and looked. I saw clips of this, but I did not see this clip.
This is the clip I saw.
He abused Ryan on this.
He said, I went and looked.
And then Ryan tried to say, well,
you did.
I do talk to him, but we pulled it out. Like,
on there.
I ain't got to do too much scrolling. I already see one woman abuse on here.
Who?
I'm gonna keep it
Mr. Fred.
That
Curly?
That hoodie he got on is tough though.
I've been trying to understand it. God is what? God is what?
You supposed to fill it in. That's the whole thing.
Oh, that's cool. That is hard. That is hard. Oh man, he abused him so bad on this one. Godly, man. Yeah, hey, that is an amazing point right there. That sums everything up for real. Actually, in the black community, actually, what's going on right now, currently, with the Carmelo Anthony situation.
No, I think this was a clout play. I mean, Andrew Schulz has been a guy that's been getting that you can get clout on and points from black people because of his comments on Kendrick. How he talked about how he was little. He said, I could him if I want to. And ever since then, he's been kind of a guy that Andrew Schulz said that.
Yeah, that was pretty viral too.
And that was viral. And ever since
he said he could. Kendrick, that is.
He said he's little. He said I could. Oh, wow. So I mean, like ever since then, like a lot of people have been kind of bagging on him. So to me, this was 100% a clout play. You gonna sit here and get mad at a white dude for making a joke? Like, come on now. White dudes make jokes all the time.
Ryan's that wannabe philosopher type of guy.
He's for sure a wannabe social justice warrior.
He said that with Cam Newton. Is that what was that?
I think this is it right here. Yeah.
Damn, that is crazy though. But I mean, it's a joke, bro. How they gonna get mad at a comedian for making a joke, bro? Like, if a comedian made a joke about me,
we've been through this.
It's a joke.
Maybe this was before. This is after.
Maybe he was explaining it right here.
That's why I feel like we can't even do roasts.
There it is. Scroll down.
You might die behind the roast
That's
nowadays.
a talk.
Somebody make fun of you, you might get hit with that iron. They're gonna say that's self-defense.
All right. Nah, man. I
felt hard in that moment.
I got respect for him on the field, but none of his takes I've ever liked. Dude, just too serious all the time for me, and it just Stephen A's way better. At least he make comical, and just be funny sometimes. Ryan never funny, but it's like, I don't understand why he's there, bro. At least Shaq and Ernie and all them, they funny sometimes.
He makes it super deep.
So serious about it.
He race baits a lot. That's my gripe with him, and I think that he gets on his soapbox too much. It's like, bro, just relax.
I'm not gonna lie, Emmanuel might be better than him.
Acho?
Yeah.
Ooh, nah, I don't know.
I hate what he did.
You guys don't like Emmanuel?
Nah, Emmanuel's pretty alright. He ain't that bad.
I don't think none of them all that bad.
His show. His show.
That one show he did was cringe.
No, that is his show that he does every time. That is his show.
He do that every time.
But at least
he's doing it right now.
His show is called Uncomfortable Conversations with a Black Man.
He's having it right now.
If they still getting ratings, I don't know.
Probably it's on YouTube. It's like a personal show.
Man, I gotta see.
They both lame. They both lame. But Emmanuel was for sure lame as hell. He's for sure more lame.
At least Ryan Clark didn't make the name of his show that, bro.
I don't think they that bad.
Yeah.
I disagree with some of the things they say, of course, but I don't think they're all.
RG3, the only one that's going up, right?
RG3 be having some moments himself.
They fired RG3.
They all have moments. Nobody's perfect.
They fired RG3.
I'm not finna sit here and bag on them like they whole thing because I dislike some of their takes. I dislike a lot of the things they say for sure. But
Cam Newton better. I like Cam Newton's show a little bit better. But hey, guys, let us know what y'all think.
I like Stephen A.
Oh, for sure. He's the best one. We're out of here, guys.